It is a lovely morning in the suburb of Edie Valley. Birds are singing, flowers are blooming. Lyndsi is waking up in an unfamiliar apartment after a drunken vendor. Yes, all is right in the world. Oh, silly me. This must be like one of the apartments over the pub. Duh. This all makes sense to her. What doesn't make sense is why she's been neatly tucked into bed, like a sardine. Usually, Cal will just sprawls her out on the nearest couch. Confused, she stumbles into the main room, nursing a rather pathetic headache. Despite that, and the nausea, she manages to spot a note folded in half on the counter.
Dear Lyndsi, after the events that just transpired, I'm sure you'll wake up tomorrow with a nasty headache, so I brewed up some coffee which will hopefully help. I then brewed up a second pot of coffee after immediately spilling the first one. Do not drink the floor coffee. Clarence.
As the note implies, the pot of coffee sitting beside the discovered note was prepared the previous evening, the coffee within now very cold. Nevertheless, Lyndsi smiles, pours herself a cup, and takes a big sip. She tried. However, besides the frigid coffee he left behind, Clarence is nowhere to be seen, and there's not many places he could hide in this 3-room apartment. Maybe he, went downstairs? She's just about to go down to the Smiling Goat to look for him when she opens the door, and in tumbles Clarence, flopping over onto the floor and waking up with a start. OMG, Clarence, why are you sleeping outside? You know you could have, used the couch, right?
Sleeping in the same apartment as an unconscious woman? That's simply uncouth, especially if it's my own apartment.
It's huh? Clarence proceeds to spend the next 10 minutes explaining everything that the blackout erased, including the chaos of the previous night and the unfortunate loss of his new job. Though he did gain this apartment out of the deal, somehow, so that's pretty neat. Oh, Clarence, honey, I'm so sorry.
No, it's alright. I guess I really am only cut out to be a senior store manager. It's just the only thing I'm good for.
I'm, so sure that you've got another talent. You just haven't found it yet. You'll get another job. Trust me, there's a lot of fish in the sea. 20 minutes later, Clarence is at the aquarium, staring directly into the eyes of a very large goldfish.
I don't understand how this will help me get a job.
One of the employees happens to overhear him muttering to himself and leans over.
You're looking for a job? You know we're hiring here at the zoo, right?
Good morning, hi Lyndsi. I'm excited cause I'm starting a new odd job today. The goat on the sign has a smile on its face, and I'm off to work my life away for minimum wage. Oh boy, it's swell to say, good morning, USA. Wait, I think I forgot to change the line.
Good morning,
USA!
Because this is a magical world where getting a job is not an impossible Herculean task that can take months and months and months, Clarence is in the employee area of the zoo going through orientation.
We're so happy to have you working with us. Everything here is sunshine and rainbows, and we get to work with such cute animals all day long. And the tigers, they will snuggle you, so be careful. Oh my god, I love working at the zoo. My favorite are the sloths. And did you know that the facial structure of a sloth, it gives them the appearance as if they're
After he concludes
smiling,
his
even if they're
really
riddled with
long
pain or anxiety
speech.
or stress.
Oh my god, is
they're
he
always gonna
still
look like they're
talking?
smiling at you, which that's a well. By the way, have I mentioned that we are the top zoo in the lower upper Midwest for animal happiness, space, and quality of living? It's true. Our animals here at the Edie Valley Zoo have incredibly wide open spaces to ensure that they never feel cramped or anxious about their enclosures. Now, all that aside, if you'll just follow me into the break room, there's a TV in there all set up to watch some of the old training tapes made by the very owner and founder of this zoo.
Clarence is led to a tiny cement room with barely enough space for maybe 2 people to fit, and a coffee machine that's cable isn't plugged in because there were no outlets in the room except the one the TV is plugged into. Clarence sits down in a hard plastic folding chair as the employee turns off the lights and he is bathed in the harsh glow of the TV monitor. He is currently feeling very cramped and anxious. The large metal door closing behind him doesn't help.
welcome to our furry little family. My name is, and I am the owner and founder of the Edie Valley Zoo. We are so excited to have you on board, and I hope you're excited too. Hop in and buckle up. We're going on a little safari today. Back in the early 90s, after my many expeditions as a zoologist in the field, I realized the growth potential of a local zoo facility would be astronomical for the community. The local multiplier effect would allow families to reinvigorate Edie Valley's economy, as well as bring their children to experience the horrific wonders of nature, like I did. I saw so many things. Your job as our newest zookeeper is to act as a touch point for our zoo-goers, providing fun animal facts and general zoo guidance, as well as ensuring the health and happiness of our zoo inhabitants. Because happy animals means still breathing patrons. Happy patrons are folks that come visit us again, and it all becomes a happy little circle. Healthy. This is an addendum to the previous tape, because, new employee, I have one other very important task for you. I need you to keep an extra eye on the animals. Recently I've noticed them acting strangely. I don't know if these are new developments or if I'm only just noticing it now. For example, I've been monitoring the monitor lizards, and they're moving even when their heat lamps are off. Maybe it's just my imagination. I feel like I must just be seeing things. Yet I can't help keeping an eagle eye on the parakeets as well. I know that the geckos are blinking with their left eyes first now. They used to blink with their right. What does it mean? Are they signaling to me? Are they on my side? Also, the mole rats are watching me, and late in the evening, when I do my rounds in the aquarium, I see the tuna schooling. They're forming bizarre shapes, patterns, symbols. What are they trying to tell me? Is it a threat? Is it even meant for me? For these mortal eyes? It's a conspiracy! I'm telling you, it's the only explanation. They're plotting to take over the zoo, maybe even the world. They're going to escape any day now. It's happening right under our noses. The day is nigh, and unto his followers the king of the beasts spoke of the stripes of the Equusquaga, numbering 666, the very symbol of the Antichrist, and all his disciples. The necks of the Giraffa would extend to parts the heavens and rain despair upon God's cubs. They're coming for me. They're coming for us all! You don't have to worry about the crabs.
So, are we excited to start our zoo adventure together on your first day?
Having gotten some fresh air, Clarence is feeling a little less queasy. He's got his little zookeeper outfit, and it is making him feel rather dapper. He's got on the khaki shorts, a brown button-down shirt with tie combo, and a fabulous tiger-pattern cargo vest, which, yes indeed, has many pockets. The vest is covered in pins and buttons of various zoo animals, but only one of the many pockets is adorned with a pin depicting the Richardson ground squirrel, his favorite animal. After taking a breath and steadying himself, Clarence is ready for his first day. His instructions were to become familiar with the zoo grounds and to visit all the installations. How could he even begin to mess that up? Right? He checks the pamphlet that he so diligently grabbed and notices that the big event coming up soon is the seal show. Shaking off the last of his trepidation, Clarence elects to make his way over there, but alas, he doesn't get very far. OMG, Clarence? Is that you? Whipping around, he of course spots a wild Lyndsi running towards him in a one-piece wetsuit, an odd thing to wear when visiting the zoo.
That's an odd thing to wear when visiting the zoo.
Oh, don't be silly, Clarence. I'm going to the seal show. She must really be afraid of getting wet.
Wow, what a convenient coincidence. I was also headed there as we speak.
Gag me with a spoon. I happen to know, a perfect shortcut.
Oh, well, isn't that wonderful? Oh, well, isn't this wonderful?
Clarence and Lyndsi walk through a dimly lit concrete cylinder, the door to which was located behind several bushes. It is covered in horrific graffiti depictions of animal attacks, zoo animals with hyper-realistic eyes and blood, and strange messages like, "Get out now," or "The seals will set us free." Lyndsi ignores it completely, so Clarence tries his best to as well.
So how do you even know this tunnel exists? The only sign on the entrance says, "Do not under any circumstances enter through here."
Like society's rules could possibly contain me.
What?
I said this is always how I get to the seal show.
But I mean, should we even be here right now? After all, this is a restricted area probably designated for employees only. Or most likely for no one at all.
I mean, I think the owner skulks around down here, ranting and raving about the animal apocalypse or something. But, how am I supposed to get to the platform to run the seal show if I don't use the employee tunnel? You're so silly, Clarence.
I mean, it's only my first day on the job, and I'm already letting customers into... Wait, you work here?
How could I use the employee tunnel if I'm not an employee? Anyway, let's go. We're gonna be late.
The seal show is, well, it's a seal show at a locally funded zoo. I don't know what to tell you. Clarence doesn't really pay much attention to it, however, as even afterwards he is still reeling as the audience leaves the stage area. Lyndsi has ditched her big fish bucket, but she's still wearing the wetsuit.
Well, my next show isn't for another 2 hours or so. So, do you want to maybe, I don't know, walk, around the zoo with me?
She gives him the biggest, wettest puppy dog eyes.
I was actually going to ask you the same thing.
Really?
I lied. They're now bigger and wetter.
Of course! My job today is to familiarize myself with the work grounds, and as my senior employee, I would appreciate your expertise on your matter.
Sure thing, Clarence. Anything to help.
Lyndsi proceeds to lead Clarence around the zoo, pointing out all the different animals and giving him fun facts. They currently find themselves in the reptile room.
Oh, there's the horned lizard. Hey, Clarence, do you know just how far the horned lizard can shoot blood out of its eyes?
It can what?
Clarence looks over at the glass case containing several horned lizards, one of which missing a leg.
Huh. 3 feet.
Oh my god, that's right!
She takes a Swedish fish from the little pouch at her waist that are usually for the kiddos and throws him one.
Good job!
Oh!
They continue their trek through the reptile room and come across a walled-off habitat in the very back of the exhibit.
I don't see anything in there. Who's this enclosure for?
Oh my god, this one belongs to Twinkles! Twinkles is our very own inland taipan snake, and he's very shy.
An inland... Isn't that the most venomous snake in the world? Its bite can kill 100 men!
Very good!
Oh!
She throws him another fish.
But seriously, is this even legal to have at the zoo?
In this one it is. Edie Valley's exotic animal laws are super lax for, no reason.
As they continue, Clarence notices the odd amount of very dangerous animals contained within this zoo. Just as he's thinking about that, he locks eyes with a cassowary, who he swears winks at him. But before he has the time to process that information...
Okay, Clarence, do you know what a group of parrots are called?
Pandemonium?
Another fish, another... The word pandemonium makes Clarence remember the tapes. It would certainly be pandemonium if these animals managed to escape. They make it to the primate exhibit. Out on proud display towards the front is the most adorable little guy that Clarence has ever seen. Its eyes seem almost filled with sad little tears. At least this one's normal.
Oh, who's this adorable little fella?
Ooh, be careful not to get too close to her. That's Mimsy, our Sloeorus. She can secrete a venom that can melt the flesh off your bones.
Where? How?
Where do you think?
Lyndsi holds up yet another candy fish. Clarence looks down at the sign conveniently located next to the cage.
She secretes the venom from her armpits.
He opens his mouth, ready for the fish. He gets the fish all right.
Oh, that one was real!
That's what you get for cheating.
After Lyndsi's impromptu tour concludes, they make their way back to the employee lounge, though they both can barely fit.
How are the employees supposed to thrive in such a tight space?
Oh, don't worry. Research says that humans only need about 5 square feet of space to be happy and healthy.
Well, it's almost time for the next seal show. Thank you again for imparting your zoo wisdom onto me, as well as some Swedish fish.
But as they begin to head their separate ways, the loudspeaker squeals in the distance.
Attention all zoo patrons. Apologies for the inconvenience.
Please remain calm and move to the nearest exit in an orderly fashion. Once again, please remain calm and move to the...
I knew this day would come! Run for your lives, everyone! The reckoning is upon us! The animals shall roam amongst humanity!
Clarence gulps, his eyes nervously darting over to the employee television, which, shrouded in static, is currently paused on the paranoid face of the zoo owner. The subtitles read, "The animals will kill us all." Clarence and Lyndsi run back out into the middle of the zoo grounds, surrounded by zoo patrons who are all politely confused. Clarence, on the other hand, is one pigeon sighting away from a heart attack. He looks around, seeing just as many animals as he does people. The tapes begin to replay in his head.
The neck of the giraffe will extend to part the heavens. They're coming for me. They're coming for us all!
Sir, your dry cleaning is done.
Oh, God! I forgot my dry cleaning!
Don't worry, Clarence. They hold it for 48 hours.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going bananas for a minute there.
Clarence sighs in relief as a gorilla walks past him, grunting and puffing at its chest as it goes.
Holy pandemonium! The animals are loose!
No, that's just the parrots. Didn't you learn anything from the tour?
Clarence grabs Lyndsi by the shoulders, eyes wide and rapidly darting around.
I was warned of this cataclysmic event. The animals are going to... They're going to kill us all!
Clarence yells loudly among the now very quiet zoo grounds. Zoo-goers begin to shoot him strange glances, and some mothers even move their children away.
Look! That lion is ready to devour a child at any moment!
Lyndsi glances over to a loose lion, who is lying on a big rock and yawning.
Aw, he's so sleepy. You wouldn't hurt anyone, would you, Mr. the Missile?
Lyndsi approaches and rubs the lion's stomach, who, with a content purr, begins to sleep soundly. Clarence, currently, is anything but sound.
That bear is mauling that man to death!
Horrified, he points a shaking finger towards a very large brown bear who is currently face to face with everyone's favorite homeless man. He is holding a brown paper bag.
If you're going to eat my lunch, you're gonna have to hug me for it!
The bear gently whomps up and hugs the man, who giggles gleefully to himself.
Oh, I missed you too, Wojtek, you old so-and-so!
Clarence runs through the zoo, becoming increasingly panicked. It is no longer clear if the things he's seeing are real or the fevered imaginings of the morbidly insane. All around him, animals are, well, not really doing much of anything. They seem honestly just as confused as the guests are. Slowly, the zookeepers are managing to coax them back into their habitats, but Clarence has taken to rocking in the fetal position, frothing slightly at the mouth. Lyndsi looks down at him and sighs.
Looks like the owner got to you, huh? She truly never was the same after her mother got eaten by that parakeet. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be the right job for you. People don't know this, but you really need to be immune to propaganda to work at a zoo.
She pats him on the head.
There. 2 years of counseling and you'll be back to work in no time.
Clarence pauses for a moment, looking at the chaos around him that isn't nearly half as bad as the prophetic training tapes foretold. He stands, dusts himself off, and laughs sheepishly to himself.
Huh. I guess it's just really easy to get worked up when someone in a position of power makes insane declarations that, although ridiculous in hindsight, prey on our universal internal fear of the unknown, and instead of facing that fear, or realizing that the world exists beyond the scope of our own personal ideologies, we cave to the pressure and follow that person blindly into our own undoing.
Clarence!
She grabs his shoulders, looking deep into his eyes.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Clarence looks down at Mimsy, who has slowly approached him during his spiel.
Take Mimsy, for example.
He scoops up Mimsy, placing his hands beneath her arms and holding her up to his eye line.
Minutes ago, I couldn't look past the dangers I falsely believed would occur to notice just how innocent and truly serene this beautiful creature can be. And how to treat wild animals with the respect they deserve, even if society tells us they're dangerous.
Clarence? The flesh venom?
Yes, exactly! Like the secretion of venom from— Oh my god!
Clarence lays in the ambulance that Lyndsi called, half conscious. Both his hands resemble ice cream cones with how many bandages are wrapped around them. Lyndsi sits next to him, bumping along as they zoom towards the hospital.
So, I know this might not be the best of times, but yeah, the manager says to not bother showing up tomorrow.
Can it get any worse? Any worse at all?
One of the EMTs peeks back from the front.
Just got word that a kid's birthday cake exploded. But not in a fun way, so we might not immediately have a room ready. It's gonna be a zoo in there.